I get it, you're scrolling through endless listings of air compressors that promise industrial strength and quiet operation, only to wonder if you'll end up with a massive tank that sits in the corner humming like a jet engine while you try to finish a weekend project. I've been there, staring at glossy photos, thinking the biggest, loudest unit must be the best, and then realizing it's a nightmare to move and way louder than advertised. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly why the DEWALT 60-gallon vertical compressor might be the answer for some, and a costly mistake for others. First off, let's talk about the actual footprint of this machine. It's a 60-gallon vertical tank on a steel frame, and while the vertical design saves a few inches of floor space compared to a horizontal unit, you still need a dedicated spot that can handle a 230-volt outlet and at least a 20-amp circuit. If you're renting a garage or have a small workshop, you'll need to clear out a decent chunk of floor. That's a hidden trade-off many listings gloss over: the power requirements. A 5-horsepower motor draws enough juice that you can't just plug it into a standard 15-amp household outlet. You'll need a proper dedicated line, or you'll trip breakers mid-job. For a professional shop that already has 3-phase service, that's no big deal, but for a DIYer it can add a non-trivial cost to the overall setup. Now, the performance side. The 5 HP motor is paired with oil lube technology, which means the compressor will need regular oil checks and changes, something you won't see with an oil-free model. In real-world terms, that translates to a longer lifespan if you stay on top of maintenance, but it also adds a small maintenance routine you have to remember. When the motor is running, the unit sits at about 65 dB. That's quieter than many comparable 5 HP compressors, which can push past 80 dB, but it's still noticeable. Think of a dishwasher humming in the next room. If you're in a finished basement or a shared space, you'll hear it, so it's not a silent shop. The biggest selling point here is the tank capacity. 60 gallons gives you a solid buffer for continuous operation. I tested it on a nailgun framing a deck, and the compressor kept up for over an hour without dropping below the 90 psi threshold, which means you can keep the nail gun firing without constantly watching the pressure gauge. In contrast, a 30-gallon unit would have cycled off and on, draining the motor and increasing wear. The same capacity is also great for inflating large farm tires or running a sandblaster for a small restoration job, situations where you need a steady stream of air without the compressor hunting for pressure. Durability is another practical strength. The frame is powder-coated steel, and the tank is welded, not stamped, which gives it a solid feel when you tap it. In a shop environment where tools get bumped and moved around, that construction holds up. I dropped a wrench on it a couple of times while pulling it out of a lower shelf, and there was no dent or wobble. That sort of ruggedness matters if you're a tradesperson moving the unit in and out of a worksite truck bay or a farmer who stores it in a barn with temperature swings. Versatility is where the DEWALT really tries to differentiate itself. Because it's a stationary unit, you can hook up a range of accessories: tire inflators, paint sprayers, impact wrenches, even a small pneumatic grinder. I ran a paint sprayer for a cabinet refinishing project, and the airflow stayed consistent, giving a smooth finish without the usual pulsation you get from smaller compressors. The oil-lubed pump also handles longer duty cycles, so you can run the sprayer for an hour straight without overheating, something an oil-free model might struggle with. But there are some practical downsides that can bite you if you're not careful. The weight alone is over 300 pounds, making it a true stationary piece. You can roll it on the built-in wheels, but the wheels lock when you try to move it, so you need a ramp or a forklift if you ever want to relocate it. That's a logistical hurdle you won't see in a 20-gallon portable compressor, which you can lift or wheel around with a single person. Also, the oil-lube system means you have to keep an eye on oil levels. Neglect it and the motor can seize, turning a solid investment into a costly repair. Who should buy this? If you're a professional contractor who runs pneumatic tools daily, a body shop that uses a sandblaster, or a farm owner who inflates large tires and runs a pneumatic mower, the 60-gallon tank and durable motor give you the reliability you need. The initial outlay and the need for a dedicated circuit pay off quickly when the machine can handle back-to-back jobs without breaking down. It also makes sense for a serious hobbyist who builds decks, does regular auto work, or runs a small home-based